Ladies and gentlemen, Moses Masika Wetangula is a very happy man. Wetangula finally shamed William Ruto and UDA in Bungoma. And one question which most Kenyans were asking was, what was the real objective of William Ruto sponsoring a candidate against Ford Kenya in Bungoma? Because two facts were very clear. The first fact, which was very clear, was that Wetangula is one of the principals in Kenya Kwanza. Even in the last election, UDA never sponsored a candidate in Bungoma. So why was Ruto keen on sponsoring a candidate in Bungoma? So that was the first question. The second fact, which was also very clear, was that Bungoma has always remained Ford Kenya's stronghold. Wetangula delivered Bungoma to Ruto in the last election. So why would Ruto sponsor a candidate even after engineering his elevation to the position of the Speaker of the National Assembly, which actually occasioned the by-election? So those two facts were clear, but William Ruto still went ahead and sponsored a candidate against Weta in Bungoma, and Weta has finally shamed him. If you look at the results, Ford Kenya candidate actually garnered 66,000 votes. UDA candidate garnered 45,000 votes, which was good votes. And the ODM candidate, the UDP candidate, Wafula Wamunyinyi, actually garnered 20,000 votes. So between Ford Kenya and UDA, they got close to 110,000 votes against Azimio, who got 20,000. But the question, why do you think William Ruto decided to sponsor a candidate? Because in this video, I want to explain to you guys what the win actually means for Wetangula. Before we do that, because I need to explain to you what it means for Wetangula and why Ruto had to sponsor a candidate. But before we do all those, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, press that subscribe button, so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. So I'm really grateful, and it's actually raining outside here, and I'm helping myself with coffee, and I really appreciate those who normally support the channel through coffee. So you can always send it through 0712 741323. I'm going to put the number below, 0712 741323. The name will be Omondi Kogal, not Kogalo, Kogal. There is no O at the end. So let us get back to the main issue. Why do you think Ruto was sponsoring a candidate in Bungoma? Because the fact that Boni Alwale was so obsessed with this election, and the fact that William Ruto did nothing to stop them, means, in fact, if you forgot about even those, the fact that UDA sponsored a candidate means they got approval from none other than the party leader, William Samoei Arap Ruto. So why do you think Ruto decided to sponsor a candidate in Bungoma? Number one, Ruto is keen on making UDA the dominant party in Western Kenya. Today, if you ask anybody, apart from Bungoma, UDA is probably the dominant party after ODM in Kakamega. They claim so. In Busia, after ODM, of course, those are the realities. So William Ruto wanted to extend this to Bungoma by winning the senatorial seat in Bungoma. I can assure you, William Ruto would have stamped his authority in Bungoma. They would have now used it against Weta, because remember, Boni Alwale was very clear that Weta became the speaker because of the votes from UDA. Number two, William Ruto was trying to strategize on how he could tame Wetangula. Taming Wetangula was one of his main objectives. If he had won the seat, then Weta was going to be just left like that, Wetangula. So William Ruto would have managed to tame him, so that anytime he would speak, he would be reminded of what befell him. Number three, William Ruto was also keen on creating Boni Alwale. You know, Boni Alwale is elected senator from the Luhya Nation in Kakamega. He's the majority whip at the Senate. So if you look at it critically, Ruto would have wanted a situation where someone somewhere who is allied to his party, who is a member of his party, is actually emerging. Ford Kenya has Weta. ANC party has Mudavadi. It then means the only position now available was for UDA. So he was going to use that election to elevate Boni Alwale. If, for example, Mwambu Mabonga had won, who would be celebrating today? Your guess is as good as mine. And lastly, he also wanted a strategy of forcing Weta to dissolve Ford Kenya, so that it will be told, in the next election, you are still going to be the speaker, but let us sponsor candidates using one political party. Because Weta is still resisting that. Weta believes that his strength is because of Ford Kenya. If he let Ford Kenya go, then he would not have any space. But what is the political implication of the win? Because the truth is, UDA sponsored a candidate, they lost. That's the honest truth. But what then is the political implication? Of course, Azimio also sponsored a candidate, they lost. That was expected. The first political implication is that Wetangula is now going to stamp his authority. He's going to stamp his authority in Bungoma. If you are keen, you should have noted two things. The first thing you should have noted was the absence of the governor, Ken Lusaka, from the campaigns. He's an elected Ford Kenya governor. He was not there. Rumors has it he was facilitating the other guy. The other guy called Mwambu. The other thing you should have noted was the role played by Didmas Baraza, who is a UDA. The truth of the matter is that Didmas Baraza is going to align himself with Ford Kenya because politics is local. Didmas Baraza wants to become the next governor for Bungoma. And he's likely to succeed based on his calculation. So that if you thought that you are going to lock him in UDA, he understands that for Bungoma and for him to succeed, he just needed to align himself well. And he has actually used this by-election to align himself. But the biggest winner is basically the former senator, who is now the Speaker of the National Assembly. He has now stamped his authority in Bungoma politics. Nobody will now doubt the capacity and the ability of one man, Moses Masika Wetangula, when it comes to Ford Kenya politics. So that's number one. Number two, respect. You know, the way UDA supporters and leaders from Western Kenya had started treating Weta and Mudavadi, they were kind of second-class citizens. You know, Boni Alwale coming out to tell Weta that he only had 5 MPs and Mudavadi only 6. That was disrespect. Now, after this election, I can assure you, if you go to Loyaland, the person who will earn respect the most is Weta. UDA will now have to bow down to ANC and to Ford Kenya in Loyaland. Because if you look at it critically, William Ruto was in Kakamega. 30 kilometers away, there was a by-election in the same Kakamega county. In that by-election, UDA candidate got 76 votes. County Assembly member. I think South Mumias. ANC got 166. While ODM and KANU shared 1,500 votes each. So from that alone, if you look at it, UDA will not have any bragging rights. They'll have no option moving forward but to respect Weta and to respect Mudavadi. But because respect is earned, Weta has earned it through sweat. Number 3, Wetangula's tax in Kenya Kwanza will now also be raised. If someone had thought that Weta only managed to get one Senate, I don't know, and from Western around 5 seats only, and therefore he can be easily kicked out, he's going to raise his tax. Because for William Ruto, Western Kenya is going to be key for him. So if you ask me, Wetangula, after this election, his tax will be up there. Number 4, in my view, is that Wetangula will now prove to everybody, or has proved now to everybody, that indeed his election as the Speaker of the National Assembly, his place as a principal in Kenya Kwanza is actually earned, not rewarded. Because people are like, okay, without Ruto, you know, but again, the argument then is, it was because of Weta. That's why Ruto is the president. So those arguments are there. And lastly, Wetangula cannot sit pretty in Nairobi, knowing so well that if things go south, he can still come to Bungoma, become the governor. This guy can become the speaker, or the guy can leave for him the Senate. Then this Warasa goes for the governor. Then he can ask this guy to now go and contest some seat down there, maybe MP seat. And things will just move according to plan. I don't know what you think. That's my take. In case you're watching the channel again for the first time, please take a second or two, press that thumbs up button, press that subscribe button. Also, let me know your opinion about this video. Bye-bye for now.